Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Lunar Goddesses. We're here to do another card pull for you. Please be mindful that we are in Mercury retrograde, which technology, and we're also just out of that eclipse area energy. Well, the eclipse just happened, but we're still sitting in that energy. Things could happen, and we're gonna roll with the punches. So, who is going to start us off today?
Well, I'd like to ask the question, like, what are we feeling like this new energy is ushering?
Personally or collective?
Uh, let's go collectively. Like when you talk about the eclipse, and then we also have the full moon. What's this eclipse energy?
As soon as you heard, I automatically heard tying up loose ends,
Mm-hmm.
like the ending of cycles. But but only for those who have been like doing the work. If trying to do the work, I feel like these cycles it's going to be rough for you because you're going to just be repeating the same cycles, trying to learn the same lesson all over again, starting the lesson all over again.
Yeah,
I feel like being intentional about I know that we have to set our intentions. Not necessarily being intentional, being specific about what our intentions are instead of just kind of letting it flow. I think we've got to be very specific about the season that we're, walking into, very specific about goals are.
yeah. And Jasmine, when you said repeating the same and doing the work, I think it's important to speak on that, really, because people don't really have an understanding of what doing the work is, for one thing. Now, what does that mean? Will your life still continue? Yeah, it'll still continue the way it has been, but you may not be getting the desired result really want. So when it comes to doing the work and getting serious about study, like I study all day long, I meditate a lot. I recite my over in my mind all throughout the day, right? Because I know that I am a creator, right? So in my mind and the different states that I consciously set up for myself, I know that I am creating a new paradigm, whereas I'm not in the cycle anymore. Like I'm I'm out of the cycle that is collective, in a sense. Now, am I affected by collective energy? Absolutely, we all are, but I'm a conscious creator of what I actually want. Someone who is not doing the work, who is just going about life, the same things, very repetitive, doing the same things over, like Groundhog's Day, then you're less likely to be pleased and satisfied with you don't have any control, but we all have control. It's just where you put your energy and your focus.
I want to not to interrupt you, but I wanted to clarify something because we hear all the time doing the work. You hundreds of YouTube videos in here doing the work, doing the work. What is the work, right? Nye mentioned modalities of working your work. It is meditation. It is affirmations because you are not what you've been programmed to. I, at a young
Absolutely.
age, was programmed to know that I was bossy, that I was so many different things. And I had to come into, it's not so much I'm bossy, I'm a leader, and I can see where situations have a need, and I like to fill the need. So if I see that somebody's strong in that area, they might not be able to see it for themselves, but it was something that I'm talented to do. So it was seen as bossy amongst my friends because we're little. Who wants to hear from their same 8, 9, 10-year-old friend? Like, no, she's just bossy. So I was programmed to believe I was bossy, but then I was able to being bossy. It's about being a leader and having a talent and having a gift. And that gift enables me to see a need and fill a need and let people know, hey, you have a talent for that. You should do that. You should do that all the way and do it really good because you automatically do and it's natural for you. For me, doing the work, that's how I connect with spirit from myself. I get into a stage of automatic writing and I'll go to talk about my day and end up discussing something that happened 4 years ago. And I'll go, whoa, okay. I didn't know I needed to work that out. Other people's way of doing the work is sitting in nature and listening to the birds and the trees and having that type of connection. So everyone's going to go through their work and do that in their own way. Based on your level of consciousness, based on the level that you're at, it's going to, you might have a routine. I have a routine. I wake up every single day and I work out. That's my routine. I have to, or my mind is doop, 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 doop. And that's also a form for me of doing the work because I get a release. I release all that old stuff. My mind is clear, self and with spirit. Then I meditate. When she's speaking about cycles and going through the same things over and over again, like Groundhog's Day, making the same decisions. When you're faced with a task at work and you've done this task 60 million times, and every time it's been wrong, that same way, and it's still wrong, baby, you need to change the cycle because that's your mindset. Your mindset has, I have to do it this way. You got to think outside the box because it's been wrong every way. And that applies not just at work, that applies in your relationships, all relationships, that applies in your personal life. McDonald's every day. It's just not conducive. You have to make conscious choices to do something differently, which is going to shake it up. I've had my daughter read something last night, and in the poem that it said, fears are not in our darkness, it's in our light, and that our light and operating liberates other people because it gives them that opportunity to do so. So when you change, the people around you change. Tying up loose ends means cutting off some relationships. That's going to happen. That job might end, and it might end and it might feel tragic to you, but it might just be that that doesn't sustain who you are anymore. You have to just be, as you're doing your work, open to the and being someone different, because as we know, with working with Miss Kim, we've never been in this energy before. We've never been in this time before. It's new to the entire collective, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing in the media. We're seeing what we're seeing in the news. You could be seeing what you see in the streets. There was a reporting of shooting. People are not able to understand what's happening to them, and it's causing them to go crazy. It's causing them to act out. It might cause violence. It might cause rage. It's causing everything. And the biggest thing that we need to do is control our minds. And the only way that you can control your mind is to, because your mind's going to tell you anything. It's going to control you. It's going to dictate you. But when you sit with it and go, why am I thinking that? We just had our class with Nye talking about your inner critic, your inner voice. What is that inner voice saying to you? And do you need to tell it, bye, Felicia? Or you need to, I've been hearing this for a while and I need to sit with this and I need to figure it out. And I need to understand why I'm I'm doing these things and why I'm letting this voice control me. So when we're cutting away and we're tying up loose ends, you got to cut away that inner critic who's limiting you. You got to cut away those friendships because we attract things like that. So I just wanted to give a tidbit and give that information because not all these people take these classes. Not all these people study and do their self-work. I don't study every day like Nye does. I aspire to be at that level, but I don't do it as flawlessly as I think that she does.
Ashley?
I
You're
also
welcome.
wanted to add I also wanted to add what doing the work is not. And a lot of people confuse knowing what their triggers are as doing the work. No, sweetie, what you're intellectualizing them. You're intellectualizing your feelings, your emotions. That's not doing the work, because just because you know what a trigger is doesn't mean that you're going to choose to react or respond. Like Nye said, her way of doing the work is meditating and writing. Mine has always been going within myself, being extremely introspective. And I realized after a while, I saw a video, and I said, and she was like, knowing my triggers is one thing. Actually consciously deciding whether to react on my triggers or respond on my triggers is a different thing. And one thing I learned on this journey is my triggers are my responsibilities. People don't trigger me. They trigger my wounds, and then my wounds trigger me. So initially I trigger myself. I trigger myself, and then I can either take pause, consciously take pause, say, is this me? And why is this me? Why am I feeling this way? Why is this calling my attention now in this way? Why is this making me upset? Because if you're angry, the root, anger has never been the root. It has always been disappointment. It has always been neglect. It has always been sadness. It has always been pain. And then anger. Anger is the response of, hey, you may need to set a boundary right here, because this has been going on X, Y amount of times, and this is why you're angry. Or, hey, you're angry because you're holding on to all the forgiveness in your heart. Or, hey, you're angry because you haven't really dealt with the pain that you've been feeling or that this person may have caused you. So just because you know your triggers does not mean you are doing the work. No, no, no. I learned that the hard way too, because I am really good at intellectualizing my feelings. I actually will tell you this. I'm like, I know I feel this way. And then
And you know that spiritual bypassing,
yeah,
when you do that,
I didn't know there was a
I
term.
mentioned a few, I'm sorry?
I did not know there was a term.
Yeah. Spiritual bypassing. That's when you can be in your mind. Oh yeah, I know what this is. I know why because you know intellectually that, oh yeah, I healed that. That's a lie that you tell yourself. You know what I mean? That's spiritual bypassing. No, if you haven't sat with that thing and contemplated that thing, which is another one of the ways that I sit in contemplation. For hours, I can do it for hours. But yeah, so you have to go beyond the intellect, right? Because the intellect will have you thinking, oh yeah, I got this. Oh, you have most of the social media in the world out here using these trigger words like, oh, I'm so woke, and oh yes, and what do they tell? Oh yeah, gaslighting. Oh, you're a gaslighter. All of these different things like to make, but you really don't really understand on a deeper level the concept that you are in. You don't know until you know, until you really know. Okay, now I've done my spiritual bypassing. Okay, and it doesn't work. It only just makes the drag out hurt even more. Oh, you want, okay, well, let me drag you off of this level where you think you at. Let me drag you a little bit. Just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times am I gonna be drugged?
Nah, you know, it'd be a lot of bit, not a little bit. It'd be a lot of bit.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Careful. And you know, I sit back. You know, my perspective on it has changed about so many different things. And I sit back and I watch how people and what they post about. And I could always tell somebody's level of consciousness just about what they post about. Because, you know, when I first started, y'all, remember I used to do my podcast, my videos, and I talked about all the stuff that I was dealing with that was coming up for me, my abandonment issues, all of these issues, right? And I went into it. And you see that online, but my thing is like, when do you come out of placing blame on all these other people and all these outside circumstances? You know what I'm saying? So when I look at people posting online and having their followers, okay, you got a bunch of followers, but y'all are talking about the same thing. And I feel like, to me, I feel like that does your community a disservice, because you are not leading them out of that state that they are in. You're not leading them out. So you need to lead them beyond the place that they meet you at. But if you're stuck only talking about these same triggers, oh yeah, my parents were this. I watch these channels, you know what I mean? And I peek in like, oh, y'all still talking about that? You keeping your people stuck. So I feel like it's a level of responsibility, influence, and people following you. So I don't know who that was for, but that just came out. So
It's that, and it's the accountability too. Like, if you constantly place blame on everybody else, there's only one common denominator.
it's you.
It can't always be your mama, your coworker, your boss. It's one person who's getting all these experiences, and then when you stop and think about it, they all look the same.
That's right.
You have to be accountable to boss
I
up.
agree.
And I think, like you said, people use those words. Yes, like they love bomb. They do all these things. Okay, so now you've made an identification. Awesome. What do you do next? Do you come back next week and then you talk about it all over again because you want to know what? I've learned it and you've taught me nothing. And now I'm just watching your channel for, I guess, you're not giving anything more.
Yeah, but those people who are watching don't even know. You see, and that's what I'm talking about. They don't even know that there's a way. You don't have to be stuck there, because the people that they're following are not teaching that. I don't talk abandonment and stuff. And if I do touch on it, I'm giving you a solution.
But I think that also goes to that creator, that person posting about it. They're stuck there.
They're stuck. Exactly.
So
and
it's
that's why
like,
you gotta be careful. It's the blind leading the blind.
And it's like, if because you know what we're gonna do, we're gonna get you through. We're gonna identify, and we're gonna tell you, all right, baby, we ain't sitting there. We're gonna go in a little bit deeper. We're gonna figure out that wound. We're gonna clean that wound. It's not gonna feel good. It don't feel good to clean your wound. We're gonna just band-aid it. We're gonna go ahead and let it heal. Scab over. Don't scratch the scab, because you know we pickers. Don't pick it. Don't pick it.
And move on.
But that doesn't mean if alcohol hits it again, it's not gonna hurt. It might hurt, but you know what to do. But you can't get the tools and then just not use them, because then personally, I might walk you through it a couple times because it's new to you. But after a while, if you come back to me and we've been working 4 or 5 months and we still talking about the same thing, I don't know, honey. I think you just need to make a better decision. And we're gonna get quiet and we're gonna observe and we're gonna see if you do something new.
All right, so shall we get into these? Nora, did you have anything to add to that before we get into these cards?
No, I feel like you all covered all bases, and I do agree that, you know, how and the why of it, and we can pinpoint exactly what's going wrong, but we don't talk enough about the resolution, you know, and about resolving and about steps that we take to get out of this situation. Sometimes it's enough for people to, um, or even find the safe place to be able to talk about the things that are going on, because even that is a jump that can be hard for people, but we don't want to get stuck there. So I do agree that, you know, we have to talk about, you know, what the solution is at the end of all of this. You know, what steps are we going to take to uh, saying cleaning those wounds out, letting them heal, you know, and then moving forward so that we're not stuck and stagnant.
Yeah.
So that's all I would
And
say.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, leave come out of that. Come out of that energy. All right.
We're
So
victims, and
Jack,
I think Miss Kim had said that in the season that, you know, we're not, let's not claim the victim card, you know, like let's acknowledge what we've been through, and then let's you know, do the work so that we can move past it. Let's not stay there. So yeah.
right. All right, Jasmine. Now you've been shuffling heavy over there. What
Yes,
you
I
got?
have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So first, I feel like this card fell out when I was shuffling, and I put it back, and it fell out like two more times, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take it. And it says women supporting women. Together we can
Huh?
transcend our visual limitations, and this is the card.
Oh, I love that.
That's nice.
Take a picture and send that to us.
I
That
will.
made
Love
me think
that.
about like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. Only but that movie makes me think about like women just coming together and like the whole premise is like these genes travel, blah 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 blah. But it's
The
it's like
connection.
creating, yeah, and it's creating a really beautiful sisterhood. And I think that also speaks to that feminine energy that we've been, and it's
Right.
reminding us that we are all in one accord. We are all on that path. And I love it. I also love that they were like in a circle in a field embracing because that's like my dream. So
Aw.
Is it really?
yeah, I love being out in nature and like frolicking and like
Say, well, you know, we could plan a time to get together, frolic in a circle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for the collective, I got confusion. Now, with this card, look closely. There is a lantern sitting right where the solar plexus are, where the solar plexus chakra is, and it says growth hurts, heals, and harnesses away through the uncertainty. So I feel like because there is a lot of cycles closing, but a lot of issues dealing with mother wounds, father wounds, abandonment issues, and all that stuff. There's a lot of confusion. Because I know for when this energy hit me, I was like, wait, hold up. Why is it coming up for me again? And I was so lost and confused. But I went to my support system. It helped get walked through like, hey, let's dive deeper on this. Let's dig a little deeper. And I feel like, especially for some of you, I'm getting you're having a lot of confusion around your self-worth. Because acceptance. And it says you are perceived the way you perceive yourself. So the question to ask yourself is, how do you perceive yourself? Like, how do you talk to yourself?
Yeah.
one thing I did notice. Can you hold them up side by side?
Yes.
if you look at the colors, the blue, like immediately my mind went to chakra system. The blue, there's the confusion and not understanding, and that whole thing about self-worth is because what are you speaking about yourself? And Jasmine just said, like, what do you say about yourself? Because what you think it, you say it, and then it is so. But then that card being red, red is all about your root chakra, and that's how you build your security, your stability within yourself. So if your root is not right, all the other chakras are going to be imbalanced. And you have to give yourself affirmations. As Nai says, she repeats her affirmations. I am stable. I am secure. I am strong. I am smart. Whatever you need to say to teach yourself and train that mind to speak better about you, then everybody else is going to do it. So you can't be upset when someone else does it because you do it yourself. So that's where my mind went with those and what I saw.
Right. So I pulled the Tower card. And so to me, this makes sense in terms of the collective, because it's like the collapse of the old way of life, the old way of doing things, right? Shattering false beliefs. Sometimes, we and be very far removed from what's really happening in your life, right? How many times people go along like, oh yeah, everything is okay. Meanwhile, what you mean your house is burning? What you mean you okay? I see it, so destruction and sudden upheaval and trauma, right? So I feel like also unexpected change or disaster, tragedy. So I just feel like, especially with this eclipse energy, it is for many people, it's going to be, because if you bypass the lessons that you have been here to learn, at some point it cannot keep coming to you with ease and delicacy, giving you the opportunity easily and effortlessly make the changes. No, but if you've been ignoring, to get your attention, it's got to be some upheaval and some chaos, right? Because now you kept missing and ignoring the signs and the situations that have been coming. Now to see it and deal with it, or not, right? We all have free will. If you don't deal with it, say a prayer. That's all I can say. But yeah, so I think that goes along with that first card that you pulled, Jack, Hour, right? And then I also got, coming out of that energy, it's going to be, I got the Two of Pentacles, right? So that's going to be balance. I think faced with can sometimes be so overwhelming that we can't see what's right in front of us, and we make things than they have to be because we're in a state of panic and that we can't see how to be resourceful. Okay, what do I have control over in the situation? What can I do to balance this chaos out, right? How can I be flexible and more adaptable? Or that I'm experiencing, but what ways can I try to make this more easy for me? And to me, the key word is balance, right? And everything, there's balance. This could be also a lot of like transferring of money. Like a lot of people, I think, may see, depending on where this is in your is happening at your in your chart, money coming in, you know, some sort of currency, some sort of gift to help you along your path. So
Thank you.
Honora, are you is to you right now and giving you anything?
So when I'm shuffling, these three cards fell out. So 1 second. What? Oh, no, 1 sec. There you go. Can you all read this?
nuh it's real small.
No,
Just
we only see
read
one.
through it.
So it says it's the Eight of Swords, feeling trapped, restricted, backed into a corner, hands tied, victimized, paralyzed by fear or terror, anxiety, feeling pressure, hopeless, helpless, powerless, silenced, crisis, dilemma, drama, imprisonment, punishment, and slavery. And I discussing, these things, the things that, are going wrong, our problems, the work we need to do to get out of, or things that have happened to us in our past. And I feel like this addresses that in a
Yeah.
way. And then this one also, insecurity, infertility, lack of confidence, lack of growth, overbearing tendencies, disharmony, diligence.
So what is this? The Empress card? You're okay.
Yeah, it's the Empress in reverse she's reading.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And then the last one that came out was this
Or
rest.
sword.
I'm going to flip it. It says finding mental strength, awakening, of isolation.
Yeah. I mean, especially the first card, that to me goes, it continues the picture that is coming out in the cards, between the Tower, Jasmine pulled first.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah. What you got for us, Ash?
I was just gonna say, Honora, you got this, girl. You got this. Because for you to pull those cards to be straight in alignment and feel in this, you got it. So don't even, you're on it. You are on the money. But I think that collectively everyone needs to look at that and think about it. So you're in confusion. You're about to face a tower moment, and a tower can come in any way. It could be something very small that you don't think, but the way that it ripples in your life, not used to doing. And everything that card detailed, that Eight of Swords is what you could be feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, and how that all ties in. So just pay attention and be prepared for what happens next and do it differently.
Okay.
Use those other cards to do it differently. It's giving the information is all around you. This energy is all around you. You should use it. You should tap into it. And you're kind of like, what does that even mean? But like in balance, as I brought it up, there is dark and there is light. If you always tend to lead toward the dark, maybe just lean a little bit more to the light and see what happens. See how that changes your perspective in your mind. As little as saying, like Ms. Kim taught Jasmine, and Jasmine then brought it to me. You're not broke when you don't have money. You're in between a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
The money is coming.
Right.
And it could be something as I get paid Friday. I will have money on Friday. And how that shifts your mindset to say, oh, I'm not, it's not a real reality for me. And how much that changes things. And it's something so minor. Like we're still used to say, oh, I'm broke. I don't have money for that. I'm broke. I remember.
Amen.
So
Yeah.
I love y'all. I have to jump. I have somewhere to be
Okay.
at too. I love y'all. Thank you for joining us on Lunar Goddesses. You guys continue, and I will watch the upload.
Okay, cool. See you later.
Thank you.
I started shuffling and pulling. I just wanted to see where this energy was taking us. And I'm already getting cards on how to transition out of this energy. So
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say
I said,
again.
let's hear it.
Yeah. So cards and I pulled 3 cards, and I feel like together I need to speak about them together. So it's abundance, friendship, and humor, right? So the abundance card is about I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire. Is I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Humor, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So we've been talking about some pretty heavy themes, right? What's going on with this eclipse energy, and I just feel like these three cards realize that because we're so used to, some of us, going at things alone, that sometimes all you need is to couple your faith with a friend, right? Your abundance make coupling your faith with a friend, right?
Right. Like 2 or more
And
gathered, right? Where
exactly,
2 or
with 2
more
or
are
more,
gathered.
absolutely, right? And humor, sometimes, listen, who has gone through some really challenging things. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. Sometimes you have to not look at life and everything that's happening as life or death or so serious. You know what I mean? You always have, to me, it's like there's lining. Always focus on that silver lining. And for me, that's saying, what is this situation trying to teach me? What have I been overlooking about myself or in my life that I in, that the universe, that God, whatever you call the most high, is trying to lead me out, right? Because clearly you're captive, right? And now you need to be let out. So silver lining, take it from me, somebody who's experienced this, who's been through this. There's always a silver lining. And then when you find that silver lining, then you be like, damn, you're so grateful, you're elation, that you forget about the pain that you was in. You forget about the hurt that it felt. You forget about everything that you went through, and you become grateful. Because without that situation, that challenging situation, you would not have got evolved to go forward. So those are my 3 cards.
And though it actually goes with the women supporting women card, but also at the bottom of the deck, it's the sharing card.
Yeah.
And it's always like you sometimes you need a tribe. I know for me, I always like to deal with my stuff by myself. But I know when I'm up shit's creek, or when it get too heavy, get a little bit too dark, I know who to call. Majority of the time it's Ashley. And when I'm really confused and when I'm really lost, it's Miss Kim. Or I'm like, at night, are you busy? Can you? Sometimes you need people. Like, you aren't And one of the sayings that I don't like is, "I came in this world alone. I'm gonna die alone." You didn't, because you came through your mother.
Or this is how I am. This is
Yep.
just how I am.
Yes.
And
To be
people,
stuck, to stay
yeah,
in your old habits with the "this
and
is
like,
just how I am" type thing. I can't stand that one.
Me neither.
you need people, and I've realized that I need people. I need my tribe. I need the people who lift me up, who have my back, who unconditional love way.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so you were pulling cards. I pulled angel number cards.
Okay.
And we have number 28. In an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others. You make a capable and compassionate leader, a team toward achievement. And then at the bottom, for those of you who need affirmations, it says, "I am a leader."
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we
Yep.
have and it says, "You have keen awareness of what is happening around you. A strong intuition is your feelings and thoughts of others. This insight allows you to be a great guide and supporter." And it says, "I am intuitive." I feel like for some of you, you just need to listen to your gut.
Yeah.
I agree.
Everyone has intuition.
Yeah.
Gut feeling, like when you're walking alone at night, you're like, maybe you should cross the street. And you
Yeah.
listen to it. And you see that some creep was hiding behind a car, or it's a turn left or slow down. And then all of a sudden you see a state trooper pull out in front of you. Everybody has intuition, or those spine tingling moments. And we have drums playing outside, so I know someone needs this. Listen to your intuition. Don't be afraid.
Mhm.
And then
Exactly.
you are
I'm
highly,
sorry.
huh?
I'm sorry. But
Go ahead.
when you're saying that, I just keep hearing Honora, 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 Honora. And I think it's because you have to, don't doubt your intuition, Honora. And it brought me back to that time that if it wasn't for you and him, I would probably be dead.
Ooh. Mm.
So
Wow.
never doubt your intuition. You received a message that day that had you not communicated,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yep.
So always trust yourself. That's all I want to say.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome.
And thanks, Jasmine, for pulling that.
Because then we have the 20, highly creative with a strong will to succeed. Your imagination is highly charged. It reveals itself in everything you do, from your sparkling conversation to your most prized projects. And then it says, "I am inspiring."
Yes.
But the one that caught me, I always like to look at the bottom of the deck, the cards at the bottom. And because it always gives me the underlying, the energy
Yeah.
hiding in the shadows. And it's 15. Your love for others is powerful, and you're able to spread your gift of support far and wide. Your curious and social nature benefit from your warm, heartfelt words of wisdom. It says, "I am wise."
Yeah. I
Because
love
you are not the only one. Naya is not the only one that you've helped. Because there were times where I've cried to you,
Yeah.
and like you are, like your intuition, it's always spot on.
Thank you.
Your wisdom is always spot on.
Thank you. I think that at times I'll let like personal circumstances cloud my judgment, or clouds my view on myself, and what I'm doing, and who I'm helping, and what I'm putting out there. Almost like I don't count those as um for what they are. Like, I'm not sure like how to exactly say it. I think that it's one of those things where I don't, you know,
Right.
just to be able to, you know, be that ear or be that shoulder, or give that advice and listen and you know, say what I'm that like once it's done, I almost don't even, it's not that I don't think about it, it's that it didn't occur to me like how big of a help it was.
I think that that goes
Just
along with our gifts, right? Your gifts are those things that you do so effortlessly and naturally that you don't even realize is a gift. Is a gift,
Mhm.
right? So with that item of the deck, and glad I did, because overall what we get is success. Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love, right? And I think when we talk about it, all boils down to love, right? It all boils down to love. I can look at the lessons, you know, the circumstances that I grew up in, that I had to, in order to overcome myself, in order to then operate in in the divine alignment where I'm supposed to be, right? Because it's all about helping other people, loving on other people as well. First and but you don't get to self-love if you don't ever allow yourself to overcome the challenges and the lessons. And that's another thing. Don't get me started. That's another thing. All these people online talking about, oh yeah, I love myself. Oh yeah, I love myself. You know, all of this stuff. And I'm
It's giving. So one of my favorite decks is, because anybody who knows me knows I love animals. If I could, I'd have two of every animals, be like Noah. But one, I have an animal deck, and it has the starfish card, and the starfish talks about, and for a long time, because I've gone through this where I'm like, I love myself. And then I'd be like, I'd love myself even more when I lose weight, or I love myself even more when my hair gets longer, or I love myself even more if I get this certain look. I'd love myself
or
even
get a
more. And
man or
I,
some
right,
money or
actually, my that's not
it's not.
unconditional. And I was like, so it's now turned into I love myself no matter what weight I'm in, because this body has carried me. This vessel has carried me. It, it has carried me through the darkest of my moments and the highest and the lightest of my moments.
Yes.
And it still carries me. So why would I feed it, or why would I criticize it? Why would I wake up and criticize?
Exactly.
How is that uplifting myself? How is that feeding myself? How is repaying my body for carrying me
Yeah.
for the 30 years that I've been here on this earth?
Right.
I honestly had to relearn how to talk to myself.
Yeah. That's a part of the
So
journey.
I don't call myself dumb no more. I don't call myself stupid. I'm like, damn, Jasmine, kind of fucked up. I'm like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
We learn. And you just keep it moving. Like, you know what? I love myself unconditionally. I'm learning to accept myself unconditionally. And it is a gift to honestly just sit and be able to enjoy your own energy.
Yeah.
Just enjoy. Like, I took myself on a date and I was like, I love this.
Right.
I love this for
Yeah.
me. And I think what social media does now is like like I said, it's like the surface self-love.
Yes.
And
It
people
is.
don't realize you gotta dive deeper
Yeah.
than the
It's
surface.
not your outfit,
What do
boo.
you, it's not your
It's not.
makeup.
It ain't you taking a picture, you know, sitting there in meditation pose. It ain't that.
Mhm. But and I also feel like a lot of people are afraid to show themselves. But if you're afraid to show themselves, then that's something that's calling you to dive a little deeper in. Because what part of yourself have you not accepted? Because I tell everything. I will tell people everything about my life, about my story, just to help them and not be embarrassed, not be ashamed by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like if people just realize that what taught you wisdom, your
Absolutely.
pain gave you wisdom, your trauma gave you wisdom.
Yeah. And you know, I'm so glad that you brought that up because, you know, in learning to even love myself, I had to listen body with the way that I've talked to myself. And but to gain the understanding that, you know, every part of your being is alive,
Mm,
and it's listening and it hears you. It hears your thoughts. And when you realize, oh my God, I'm here because I had to learn, you know, this is just another level of love and the realization that, oh my God, my body's been listening to me. My God, you know what I mean? When I didn't, when I hated myself, my body was listening. You know, so a lot of times we find ourselves in these situations. It's all you're doing. That's why the journey is self undoing, and nobody else can do the work but you, And you know, so yeah, I really love that you brought that up about and explaining the difference. Love, because yes, when I can look at myself in the mirror at a body that I used to hate and be like, God damn, girl, you fine. You know, like I love you so much. You know what I'm saying? That's huge for me. For me. You know, so it's a beautiful journey. And you know, I just, you know, what other people do is what they do. I know that the right people will continue to find us who, I mean, we keep it real with ourselves. So at the end of the day, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I I think this eclipse is doing amazing and wonderful things. You know, whether people are aware of it or not, it's getting you to the place ultimately where you need to be. I would just say, you know, self-care right now, drink a lot of water, as those old energies and stuck things, you know, flush out of you.
hmm
Eat light,
I
eat
would say
light.
if you can right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I fasted last week and a little earlier this week, but child, I had to eat. I had to eat this week.
I'm like sunrise to sunset, and I've literally and people are like, well, are you doing is intermittent fasting? I'm like, no, it's not intermittent. It's not to lose weight. It's because I need clarity, so I fast.
Exactly. And I think it's interesting to me because I noticed that, and I've been noticing this for a while, that like my body will tell me like, all right, we just want fruits and vegetables. That's all we want to eat. You know, okay, yeah, you need a little bit of this, you know. So it's just about to know whether you need to fast, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and those different things, right? And I think it's important to say this because I think about this all the time because a lot of people be like, well, talking or I'm not picking up on, you know, this or this and that. the more healing that you do and the more layers that you shed of your old familiar self, the more you become in tune with not only yourself. That's why a lot of people can tap in and hear and just know those things. So, you know, just it's about just constantly doing the work.
Because like I went through a phase where I literally just wanted to eat grapefruit, blood oranges, and oranges, like straight citrus. Tapped in, he's like your spirit team was saying you need to eat citrus, and I was like, that's what I've literally been doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So your body will communicate with you.
Hmm.
So I don't know. This feels complete to me. What about you?
We gave them a lot. It's time to let it settle.
Marinate. Let it marinate.
You have anything you want to add, Nora?
No, thank you. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate this. This has been great.
You guys know you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Naila Oni Speaks. That's NAILAHONI Speaks. And we'll drop it in the description too.
And you can find me at that's TH, and also on IG, Nomad Jazz, and also on TikTok. And I think it's the Nomadic Goddess on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
On TikTok, I am at Sky Maria Rivera, SKYMARIVERA. And I will too link that in the description.
And we'll put Ashley's information in the description as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.